How's everybody?
Hello.
Hi, Joe. How are you?
Not too bad. You?
Good. I'm okay, thanks. A little bit warm. Hi, Kim.
Yeah, the air conditioning hasn't come on in my building yet.
Do they control all of the air conditioning? Really?
Yeah.
And what's the date for that to start?
By tomorrow at the latest.
Okay.
So right now there's fans and
That. Yeah, I think it's about 30 degrees today, and it's supposed to be hotter tomorrow. So let's hope they get the air on. That's interesting because I would have thought that they would be able to react according to the environment. Like I know that there are parameters, for heat. Like you've got to turn it off at a certain time. It's got to be turned back on in September. But you would think, like if it's 31 degrees, that they might be able to. But I guess it's probably a process, right, to turn all of the equipment on.
it is.
Yeah.
So I saw the building manager on Tuesday, I think it was, and he and I said how excited we were because we had known that this was coming, and he said, "Well, the guy's here, so he'll have it Friday at the latest." So
Okay. There you go.
I hope so. Otherwise, I'll be coming into work and just sleeping there.
Joe, do you play all those guitars?
I don't have the time
No.
right now. Maybe one day.
In theory, you play them?
Yeah, they look good on the wall though.
They do.
Actually, I have about another dozen of them. It's just I wanted to set up the house when we staged it for selling.
Okay.
Because we sold our house in March and we're moving June the 30th.
Oh, okay.
And and I wanted to leave it up because the buyers actually have a walkthrough on Friday.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to kind of look like we still live here. And
Yeah.
then and like you said about the AC, my AC died last summer.
Oh no.
So we sold the house as is with the AC, but we have a couple fans going too.
Yeah. Well, and usually it's cooler. Like, you're in the basement, it looks like,
I'm in the
right?
basement, so it's good. My wife
Okay.
is like, her office is upstairs and it's pretty bad.
Warm.
I'm not complaining. It's better than snow on the ground for me.
Hi, Bill.
Hi
there. How's everybody?
Hi, Bill.
Good. How are you?
Good. Put the air conditioning on today.
Yeah, that's what we're all just talking about, Bill.
Yeah, oh man. Yeah. Yep.
I haven't succumbed yet. We'll see. I think last year, we're not big air conditioning people. Like we have ceiling fans in most of our rooms, which I prefer. We probably only had the air on maybe a total of 6 or 7 days all of last year.
I'll turn it on in March if it gets too hot.
Well,
Like,
my
I have
next door
no
neighbors too,
problem.
they go right from heat to air conditioning. There's no in between, right?
That's me. We
Yeah.
have ceiling fans throughout, and I'll tell you, in my bedroom, I've got a big fan at the end of the bed,
Yeah.
and I sleep with the window open all winter.
Me too.
But anyways, the kids they get dressed and then they put their house coats on, and they run around and they're so cold. And so last year, Mary got a central air conditioner unit just for my bedroom, just for our bedroom. And so I've been it's super cool back there, right?
Okay.
And so I've had that air conditioner on for just this last heat spell, like the last week or so,
Yeah.
at nighttime, right? And it just cools it like nothing. And then the rest of the house, I just put it on today. But I got a new furnace in my workshop last fall, and he's supposed to come back and put central air in my workshop.
Oh,
So that's
okay.
really cool.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a spoiled workshop.
That's called setting yourself up for retirement.
Yeah, it is. No, it's
Yeah.
good. Do it now.
Yeah. 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 So
Everybody's trickling in. We don't have any board members yet.
There we
Oh,
go.
there's John.
There's John.
I was starting to get nervous, John. You're the first board member.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I thought maybe I
We're-
was on the late side too.
Oh, here comes Rosanna. No, I think we just. Hi, Rosanna.
Hello,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay, thank you. I sent you an email right before. Okay.
I got
just
it,
wanted-
yeah.
Okay, good.
Hello.
Hi,
Hey,
Ainsley.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I think we're almost all here. Katie, we're still waiting for one more, right?
Yeah, I think I just sent her the correct link. We were getting an invalid meeting
Oh, okay.
ID error, but I think I sent her the correct one, so she should be joining us shortly.
Oh, there's Danya.
Okay. So have we got everybody then, Andrea?
It looks like it.
Okay. Wonderful. And now Mr. Yeoman is not able to attend tonight, so I'll be chairing our meeting. And seeing that I think we've got everybody, I'll call the meeting to order and welcome to the Thursday, May 20th meeting of the LMCH board. So we'll start off with the recognition of Indigenous peoples and lands. So we would like to begin by acknowledging the treaty territory of the Anishinaabe, which is defined within the Pre-Confederation Treaty, known as the London Township Treaty of 1796. Throughout time, this region has become the current home of the Haudenosaunee and Lenni Lenape nations. So welcome everybody, and I see some new faces tonight. I know we have staff attending for a number of items, so welcome. There are many. I see Mr. Bonacia, Ms. Benuelos, Mr. Leslie, and Mr. Robertson, and Ms. Groves. I believe that's, and then we have guests as well. Ms. Denbach and Danya. Apologies, I'm not sure your last name. So welcome everybody, and we'll begin with the completion and acceptance of the agenda. Are there any proposed changes, additions to the agenda before you tonight? Okay, seeing none. Looking for any disclosures of pecuniary or disclosure of interest.
None.
Thank you. And the first item is the approval of the minutes of the previous meeting, which was April 15th of this year. Yes, Laura, and if I'm forgetting procedural stuff, please tell me.
I was just going to ask if we could have movers and seconders for the completion and acceptance of the agenda.
Okay, yeah, so thank you. Looking for a mover for the completion and acceptance of the agenda. Ms. Anderson, seconded by Mr. Nelson. All in favor? We'll have to take turns. Okay, and Laura, moving then to disclosures of interest. I didn't see any. I don't believe we need to vote on that. And then approval of the minutes of the previous meeting, so April 15th. Looking for a mover. Ms. Anderson, seconder, Mr. Milson, all in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Communications, there is a communication from the city clerk regarding the LMCH delegation. I mean, that is in our package. I believe that is to have the annual general meeting on June 23rd at the Strategic Priorities and Policy Committee. And anything that I should add to that, Ms. McKenzie?
Through you, Chair. No, we have not had formal response. We've had the email, which is why we wanted to share that, just so that the board's aware that we have started the process to request delegation status. And once we have the formal response, we'll include that as well for the board in the next package.
Okay, great. And I believe Municipal Council just will probably receive that at their meeting this week. So I anticipate it goes to Council next week for approval then. Okay. Okay. Just reading my agenda here. I'm using a laptop, not two screens, so it's the print's very small. Do I require I can't recall, do we vote usually on communications, Laura?
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. Okay, thank you. Looking for a mover then for that item. Mr. Nelson, seconded by Ms. Anderson, all in favor? Okay, and that's carried. And I apologize, I should have also, just something I should have noted at the beginning. I believe the Tenant Advisory Council is tuning in tonight, so just like to recognize that and say hello to them virtually and also a welcome. Okay, so we have a delegation tonight. This is regarding the audit report and KPMG and the 2020 audit findings presentation. So, Ms. Tatlashvili, I will turn it over to you.
Thank you very much, your chair. So we have our representatives from KPMG, Kathy DeVoe and Dania Napani, so to present the findings. The rules of engagement were standard. There were no deviations from the prior years. So, and I don't believe there were any significant findings throughout the process. With that, I'd like to pass to Ms. DeVoe.
Thank you. And thank you for having us here this evening. What Dania and I would like to do is just walk you through at a high level our audit findings report, which I believe has been included in your agenda packages. Okay, so you're quite right in that there is not anything too exciting in this report, but just a reminder for the board, this does include all of the information that we are required to communicate with you in your governance role, as well as anything that we thought you should be aware of that came about during the course of the financial statement audit. So I'm going to start on page 4 of our document, so the page numbers on the bottom right-hand side. And really, in terms of what's new in 2020, so obviously the pandemic has had an impact on the way that we conduct and plan our audit. So we'll talk a little bit about that, as well as the new auditing standard that came into play this year. There have been no significant changes regarding the, from the audit plan that we presented to you several months ago. In terms of actually finalizing the audit, as of today's date, we have completed the audit. The only things that remain outstanding at this point are having our conversations with you here today, obtaining evidence of your approval of the financial statements, as well as a copy of the signed management representation letter. And that letter gets dated the date of approval of the financial statements, so that will happen in due course, hopefully today. Other than that, we anticipate being able to issue a clean or an unmodified audit opinion on the financial statements once those items are taken care of. And I'm just going to continue to scroll here to page 6 of our report. And this really just goes over for you some of the ways that COVID has impacted the way that we conduct our audits. So considering whether there are additional financial statement note disclosures that may be required, whether there were any significant changes to the benchmark that we use in calculating the materiality that gets used in the course of our audit, as well as whether there were any significant changes in the internal control over financial reporting or the risk assessment that we conduct as part of our audit planning. So we've outlined for you here sort of what those additional considerations were. We did conduct the audit entirely remotely. We're getting very good at doing that now since every audit has been remote basically for the last year. Moving on to page 8 of our document, this just gives you a little bit of detail about a new auditing standard that we were required to adopt this year. You won't see a change to the financial statements because it wasn't an accounting standard change, but rather a change in documentation and the level of work required for us to get the audit evidence needed over any areas where there were estimation uncertainty in the financial statements. And I'll hand it to Dania to talk in a little bit more detail about the audit risks and results.
Thanks, Katie. Moving on to page 9, we've included here the audit risks The first one is the fraud risk from revenue recognition, which was rebutted as management's performance is not based on earnings. The second fraud risk is the one from management's override of controls. This risk is not rebutted, and we have performed procedures to address it. These risks are consistent with the prior year, and as a result of the procedures we have performed, no issues were identified. On pages 10 and 11, we've included a few areas of focus, with them being significant bounces in the financial statements. These areas are consistent with the prior year, other than the change in management point included in page 11. As a result of our procedures performed, no issues were identified. On page 12, we would like to confirm to you that the form, content, and arrangement of the financial statements is adequate, and we don't have any concerns regarding any future accounting pronouncements. On page 13, we confirmed that we did not identify any misstatements that remain uncorrected, nor did we identify any misstatements that were subsequently corrected by management. And on page 14, we just confirmed that we did not identify any significant control deficiencies. And Katie will take it over from here.
So the rest of the report are the appendices. So we've included here some information for you on the things that we are required to communicate to you and where you can find those. A copy of our management representation letter has been provided, which is a required communication. In Appendix 3, you'll see we've included some live links here, more just information we thought might be useful to you, whether in this role as a board member or another role that you may play within the community. So there's information there on sort of hot topics that we're seeing both at the board tables and the audit committee tables that we sit at. There's some COVID specific information there for you as well. And then in Appendix 4, we've provided some information on some upcoming public sector accounting standard changes. So these changes don't become effective until years beginning on or after April 1st, 2022. So fiscal 23 for you, but there are some that may have a significant impact on some of the balances that you see within the financial statements. Most notably, there's a standard change coming with respect to asset retirement obligations. And so we've included some information for you. It does get a little bit technical here, but just so you can understand what these changes are that are coming down the pipeline, and we'll certainly be working with management as that date draws nearer to identify what the impact of those changes may be on the organization and provide any guidance as required. And that is our audit findings report. Happy to take any questions that anyone might have.
Thank you very much for your presentation, and I would open it up to any questions I would like to direct to our guests. Seeing none?
Yep.
Okay, wonderful. Well, can I have a motion to receive? I believe that was Ms. Anderson, seconder, Mr. Milson, all in favor? And that's carried. So thank you very much. And enjoy the rest of your evening.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, this takes us to the consent agenda. So we have a number of reports from staff before us tonight. Are there any particular reports that you would like pulled from the consent agenda? Seeing none. Okay. We'll go to comments. So we'll look at the omnibus of the consent agenda items before you. Any questions or comments with regards to the folks would like to make? Seeing none, I do have. Oh, Mr. Milson?
No, sorry, the lights just went off in the office, so it just kind of spooked me.
I do have a comment just from the chair. Appreciate all the work on the reports before us, and with regards to consent item G, which is the key performance indicators report. We've made lots of progress on this report, and I think there'll be a real opportunity to build linkages when the next strategic plan is built, and perhaps look at ways to kind of connect the KPIs we have right to the strategies that are coming out of that strat plan. So I think this gives us a really good foundation, and so just appreciate the work on this. Okay. Any other comments? Okay, well, lots of work. We're then voting on the, this would be items A through H in the consent agenda. So looking for a mover to receive all of the reports that are before us. Ms. Anderson, seconded by Mr. Milson. All in favor? Okay, that's carried. And thank you to staff for attending for these items. I think a sign of good reports that were provided. So thanks very much and great to see all of you tonight. Okay, that takes us to reports in business. I'm not aware of, there's nothing on that portion of the agenda. I'm not aware of any new business or inquiries, but open it up if anyone has anything. Seeing none, then I believe that takes us to item 11 on our agenda, which is in-camera matters. So there are 2 items on the agenda, and I will read the matter pertaining to employment-related matters, including advice or recommendations of officers and employees of the corporation, including communications necessary for that purpose and for the purpose of providing instructions and directions to officers and employees of the corporation. With that, I would look for a motion to move in camera. Mr. Milson, seconded by Ms. Anderson. All in favor? Okay. Mr. Milson, all in favor?
Sorry, Rosanna, just
yes.
You have to report out. Did we do that?
Do we have to?
Do you have to say like report out from closed session progress or anything like that?
I would look to Laura.
We don't normally, but we can, absolutely.
Oh, sorry. Not trying to upset the regular routine here. Just didn't want Rosanna to miss anything. That's what our clerk always does. So.
Okay, I think we're good. I believe so. Looking at, we did have a motion to, or a mover to adjourn. That was Ms. Anderson, seconded by Mr. Milson, and all in favor. That's carried. Thanks everybody, and for your patience with my chairing. And thanks to staff. I hope everybody has a great long weekend.
Yay!
You did a great job. Paul
Yep.
on.
Thanks everybody. Take care.
Thank you very much. Have a good long weekend, everybody.
Thanks, you too.